1811, Albuera uses the Fix Bayonets tactical system to recreate the Napoleonic battle of the same name. The game now has a second edition, and we're going to take a look at what's inside here on Legendary Tactics. Now, we were sent a review copy from Tactical Workshop. We want to thank them for sending this along, and this is a pretty big game. The map, as you can see, is pretty giant. You're going to get a closer look at it in a second. And this game is a very detailed yet relatively straightforward game system that allows you to recreate this Napoleonic battle in some detail. You can see there's 5 counter sheets, double-sided, full color, and uses a lot of the unit designations in a way that I think is actually pretty clear. The way the leadership is worked out and everything. Command control is a big part of this game, and when I first saw it, and I'm still getting used to the system so far, it really struck me as really a miniature system, but hex and counter. It just feels that way. I'm not sure exactly why. We've got the leadership cards here. These dictate the order of play and add various elements of the leadership aspect. Again, command control is a big part of this game from what I understand, and the cards really help to streamline that process. We're going to put these back in the plastic wrap where they belong, and we'll take a look at the big boards. These are pretty big. It needs a fair amount of space on the table, but it doesn't really strike me as kind of a monster game. The maps, when they're put together the right way, have a nice size footprint, but it doesn't feel overly gigantic for some reason. However, the boards are good quality. I love good mounted map board, and the aesthetic is fairly minimalist. I think it's very playable, but it's definitely the level of detail and so forth is kept to a minimum. We're just going to put that back in the box here, and they take up a pretty good chunk of that box. We're going to look at the player aids. There's some historical information on the back and the order of battle on the front to show you how all the units are organized. And you can see that color plays a big part in that, which is obviously great. It's always easier to organize things that way. There's also a lack of sort of the stacks of informational counters, which I really appreciate as well. I love low counter density, makes it so much easier to play. Lots of modifiers for various attacks, and the player aids are pretty detailed. They will, I think, give you a fair amount of realism without necessarily too much overhead. We've also got the various turn tracks, and there's kind of some interesting morale rules there that come into play as well. I'm just getting a handle on those rules right now. And the rule book, now there's 2 books. There's the playbook, I guess you could say, and then there's the rule book. And the rule book is fairly detailed. It's about 55 pages if I remember correctly, and there's a lot of detail. It's very readable, but take your time with it. It's going to take a little while to get a good sense of it. It's funny because this is billed actually as a game that's quite easy to learn, but there are a fair amount of rules here. So if you do have a background in Napoleonic gaming, miniatures in particular, you might find it a lot easier. But the good news is it's a Fix Bayonets system, so presumably this will carry over into other volumes. There's some historical information, some scenarios, and the scenarios allow for a fairly flexible setup, which is even the historical one, which is kind of interesting. And there's a little bit of sort of design notes and so forth. And that is basically everything that you will find in the box here. I'm just going to put this top on again. And the box is quite heavy, though. I think you'll feel if weight is any idea of, it gives you any idea of value, I think this one will do the trick. I'm going to put the shrink wrap back on, as I like to do, to make sure it's properly protected for the next time I play it. And you know what, I'm even going to put this back in the cardboard box it came in. just to make sure that it's ready to go for next time. So we hope you'll check out this game. Thank you so much for watching. This is Legendary Tactics.